It's day 25 of walking from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail, and I am in beautiful, rainy Big Bear Lake, California. Now, if you've been paying attention closely, you might find yourself saying, day 25, Brooke, what happened to days 21 through 24? Well, in order to tell that story, we're going to back up to a second to day 21, and then we'll sort of fill you in on everything that's happened since. On day 21, we woke up from our beautiful night of cowboy camping, sleeping under the stars. It was actually a really stunning way to spend the night. But soon enough, the anxiety and depression that had been plaguing me for days was back with a vengeance. PCT actually passes underneath Interstate 10, or the 10, as I would say. We were able to grab water from the cache, which is maintained by volunteers, watch the trains go by, and even order an Uber Eats breakfast delivery from nearby Palm Springs. Unfortunately, my emotions were really so out of control at this point, and my body was so weak from lack of food, I could barely eat any of it. We then climbed up into the desert where we officially reached the end of Section B and the beginning of Section C, and this is the exact moment where it all completely fell apart for me. The next 50 miles of trail, known as Mission Creek, are an extremely difficult section of trail. You may have actually seen the news recently where a PCT hiker had to be rescued by helicopter when she got stranded on a cliff section of this trail. It was all washed out by the hurricane a couple of years ago and requires a lot of route finding and scrambling. And that knowledge just made the little rubber bands in my brain snap. I had one of the most severe panic attacks I've had in my life and made the executive decision that I was in no condition to be on trail at this moment. Luckily, my family lives a few hours away and they very graciously offered to come pick me up. My dad is amazing and dropped everything at a moment's notice to do it. I was driving back to Orange County, and in that moment, I genuinely did not know if this was the end of my PCT journey. That night, I fell into bed exhausted with no idea what would happen next. So yeah, my big secret is out. I got off trail. After that, I took 2 days to sort of figure out what I really wanted out of this hike, what I wanted out of myself on this hike. And I came pretty quickly to the realization that my PCT journey is not over. Giving myself permission to skip that section has been so amazingly freeing. Like, I now have permission to do this hike however I want. That's such a gift. I think if I kept hiking the way I felt on day 21 and I kept pushing through, I feel pretty strongly that I wouldn't have just gotten off trail for a break. I would have gotten off trail and gone home. And that, I think, I would have deeply regretted. On day 24, I headed back up to Big Bear Lake where I rejoined my trail family, and I have been eating my way through this town ever since. Despite the rain forecast, I cannot wait to get back on trail tomorrow, and I will see you then.